So at this time, we're going to go ahead and open it up to any questions. Alex is going to go ahead and kind of moderate that. And Alex, if you want to go ahead and start firing away some questions, we can go ahead and get some answers for them.
Yeah, absolutely. Give me just a second here. All right. So let's see. We have a question that is asking if we provide, Steve is asking to make sure that he understands what you just said. You provide the option to have a hard drive overnighted to you with the data to avoid having to download the backup sets. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So the Intronis solution provides a couple different options for partners that have quicker recovery time objectives that they need to go ahead and adhere to. And one of the services that we certainly do provide for partners is an overnight hard drive service. Intronis will try as quickly as we possibly can to go ahead and get that data loaded to that hard drive, and then basically we pop it in the mail and shoot it out to you. And it's up to the partner on whether they want to go ahead and have overnight shipping or FedEx or couriered or want to even come pick it up at our locations. More than happy to help out our partners the way we can. We also have a local vault functionality that I encourage pretty much all of our partners to go ahead and enable. And the local vault functionality is really nice because it allows you to go ahead and keep a copy of the data simultaneously on the Intronis servers and on the device on the customer's premise. So if it's not necessarily a catastrophic disaster, maybe it's something more along the lines of, hard drive crashes or the corruption in the Exchange database or something along those lines, you can recover from that local resource very quickly.
Great, thank you very much. There's another question here about whether we support Windows, Mac, or Linux clients.
Sure, absolutely. So ideally, the Intronis solution installs natively on a Windows machine, but we certainly can go ahead and we can back up remote resources via shared drives and UNC paths, whether it's Windows, Linux, OS X, Unix, pretty much anything we can see from Windows, we can go ahead and we can remotely access via UNC shares.
All right, thank you.
I'm going to jump in here. I have a couple questions for you too, Nathan. What are your thoughts on white labeling the service? I know you guys offer a white labeling service. How do you feel that affects selling the product, whether you choose to white label it or not?
Sure, great question. So we certainly find probably the largest majority of our partners will go ahead and elect to have the software rebranded. With a lot of the consumer-based companies out there, like the M's and the C's out there, they get a lot of competition, or the partners get a lot of competition from the vendor themselves. So customers are able to go ahead and contact them and say, you know what, those guys are only $50 a year. Why am I going to go to you guys for $50 a month? Well, it can be really tough. So by going with that rebranded option, getting all those rebranded marketing materials, getting the rebranded websites, makes it really easy for partners to be able to go in and say to a customer, you know what, this is my backup solution. And it basically kind of frees you up from a lot of competition out there in the marketplace because you're not competing with really anybody else but yourself. So it's really nice to go ahead and kind of go with that branding option for both competition purposes, and it also makes your solution more complete. It makes the customer a little more sticky to you, so they're seeing your name, they're seeing your information. They're not seeing Intronis, they're not seeing Virtual Administrator. They're basically seeing your company information, which is really nice.
Gotcha, gotcha.
There are a couple more questions, if you don't mind me jumping in here.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So there's another question here that is asking if Intronis is strictly data, or can bare metal resource can be completed as well?
Great question. So we actually have been surveying our partner basis quite a bit recently. And we actually kind of talked about, what types of solutions are you guys currently utilizing, what types of restores are you doing, and a lot of information along those lines. And we actually found out about 90% of our customers' restores are all basically, hey, I deleted this file, can you get it back for me? There were a very, very small amount of customers that actually responded back they're picking a backup solution for a total disaster, because it just doesn't happen very frequently. So Intronis is actually really focusing on the file-based backup solution itself. And we're actually going to work with some strategic partnerships with companies like AppStore, Shadow Protect, and a couple others out there to go ahead and provide bare metal restore capabilities. You actually already have VMR capabilities built into the Windows Server backup, so we've actually got some great articles within our system that talk about how to go ahead and leverage that for VMR should you need it. And in a lot of these cases, we're going to go ahead and we're going to recommend to back up the critical data with the Intronis product and go ahead and take periodic images, whether it's once a week, once a month, once a quarter, whatever it is. So the long answer is yes, we're looking at kind of bare metal functionality. Is it built into our product existing today? No, it's not. But we're working with a lot of partnerships to go ahead and get that in there.
Thanks, Nathan. Next question here is the backup an image of the system, or is there an option for individual files?
Great question. So that goes along kind of with the BMR functionality. Typically, when you talk about bare metal restore, you're talking about backing up a volume image of the entire system. So again, we're certainly working through a lot of partnerships with a lot of image-based vendors out there to go ahead and provide that functionality to our partners.
Okay. Thomas is asking if you could give more details about how the data is secured from the environment and unauthorized access, and is Intronis able to access the unencrypted data?
Great question. So as far as the Intronis solution itself, there's a small client that gets installed on the customer's machine that goes ahead and backs up that critical data. And through that process, the first thing that we actually do is go ahead and encrypt and package that information. Once the data is encrypted and packaged, then we go ahead and if the local vaults option is enabled, we'll go ahead and transfer the information to that location. And then we'll go ahead and if the data is going online, we'll go ahead and we'll establish a secure SSL tunnel between the customer's machine and the Intronis side. And we'll go ahead and basically push that encrypted data through that location as well. So it's really nice that we've got that dual layer of encryption throughout the entire system. And what's really nice is when you go ahead and you install the software, you actually have the option to choose whether you're going to use a managed encryption key or a manually defined encryption key. And if you're choosing to use that managed encryption key, the backed up data is still encrypted throughout the entire system and lives on our servers encrypted. But should you lose your encryption key, Intronis has the ability to be able to go ahead and regenerate that for you. So throughout the entire ecosystem, the data is always encrypted for you. If you choose to go with that manually defined encryption key method, only the people that have that encryption key are actually able to go ahead and decrypt that data. In both cases, Intronis does not decrypt any data without the partner knowing. In fact, if we don't have that manually defined encryption key, we can't access any information on there at all. And to answer, is it logged and all that information? Absolutely. We've got a really great audit logging system throughout the entire system to really make sure that, you're able to meet those compliances. A lot of compliances say you need to go ahead and have good logs that say, when data was restored, purged out, and so forth. And all that information is logged within our solution.
Very nice.